How's it going, everyone? And today I'm bringing you my full review of the PS Vita game Soul Sacrifice. Now I've been playing this for a while since it is the RPG tense um, action games tend to be quite a bit of it takes some time, and I've been quite busy, so I played it once in a while here, once in a while there. I played the whole game, and I completed it, and I went back, played some few more, did some things, this and that, and I think it was after I completed it, I did some few extra things. I thought it was quite time to do a full review of this game, and so I wrote down my notes. I have my notes right here of what I like, dislike, and other stuff. So now I'm gonna, tell you my review, my thoughts about what I liked about the game and what I disliked about the game, and overall my rating. My 2 thumbs up. If you guys know my reviews, I do my 2 thumbs up or in the middle, or 2 thumbs down, or one up, and stuff like that. And of course, my rating, from 0 to 10. Um, and that's pretty much it. So let's begin. I have a few sections of my reviews, and I have my story, the graphics, the soundtrack, ease of controls, my likes, my dislikes, and the replay value. And the last one is the rating. So let's begin with the story. Now the story has, it starts off with the world is pretty much destroyed. The world has been destroyed by an evil sorcerer, and you're basically a prisoner, and you're left with no hope. And this other prisoner decides to stand up against the evil sorcerer because he has been reading this book, and he has gained this power to summon magic, and he's gonna go take on the evil sorcerer. But the evil sorcerer finds out, or in this case it's Magusar, and Magusar instantly kills him and then destroys everything, and the book comes flying towards you, or the prisoner. And that's how the story begins. And then the talking book, Librum, starts telling you about the story, like, oh yeah, Magusar this, Magusar that. The author of this book knows him, traveled with him, read the story, like the Librum was telling him, read me, and you can become a sorcerer as well and gain powers from inside by reliving the memories of the author. So you begin reading the pages, you go through chapter, and that's how you get your magic power. And as you read on, you learn of the story of the sorcerer and his memories, and with Magusar, and it's his time with Avalon, which is like the organization for sorcerers. And that's pretty much it without spoiling anything, because there's a lot of things. What I do like about I'll skip the sections right here. Whoa! Backtrack. And also you tend to learn a lot of things if you complete the storyline, which is pretty unusual. No, not unusual. Which is pretty cool. Like, it's interesting. A lot of interesting things happen in that story in the game. Now moving on towards the next section, it's about the graphics. The graphics in this game for the PS Vita is pretty good. I do like how the environment looks, how they pretty much have a nice design of environments. So like they have a snow level, a sand level, and the graphics do look pretty good. They look sharp. The characters look good. The main characters look great. Magusar looks pretty badass when he's in the demon mode and some shit like that. And overall, the graphics are good overall. Now moving on towards the next section is the sound and the soundtrack. Now the sound and the soundtrack are amazing in this game. I gotta hand it to the team, the music producers, or whoever produced this pretty good soundtrack. The soundtrack is awesome. The way you customize your character's voice to make it like a female or male, different types of males, one higher pitch, one with the lower pitch, females, and all these types. And it's really good. Like, the acting is pretty good. The soundtrack is amazing. Nice, like, I wouldn't say is it classical or something like that, with the nice orchestra, and it really gets the mood going when you're facing all these monsters, and like the nice music, and the music really goes well when you're reading the chapters, when the dialogue is going. Like, if it's a sad mood, the They really get a nice melody. They put a minor tone, and it's really, really good how they really nailed the soundtrack and the music in this game. Now moving along to the next section is my ease of controls. The way, if you're gonna have a difficult time mastering the controls, or not a difficult time mastering the controls. Now the controls are overall simple. They might be a little confusing at first, like switching, because you do use both touchscreen and directional buttons and what do you call it? And action buttons and all that, and stuff. X square, Y circle. I mean X square, triangle, circle. What is this? Xbox and a pistol. Anyway, so it took me a few tries before like I finally mastered. Like, oh, I got used to it. I could finally dodge. I could finally roll. I could finally see the enemy's weak points and stuff like that. And it's like it takes quite a bit to master it. Maybe a few missions, and then you pretty much get the point. Now, moving on to the sections you probably guys been waiting for. What I like about this game. What I like about this game is the story. The story is pretty great. You learn the truth. You learn this and that. You learn about that world and how the sorcerers, the monsters, how the monsters come to be, why the sorcerers must do this for justice or for the saving and everything like that. You learn a lot of stuff in that by reading the book, and it's pretty awesome. It's pretty amazing how the story is pretty like hard earth, and not only that, you could learn about the previous history of the ancestors, the beginning of time and everything from that book, and about the chalice. The chalice, and how that affects the story. And it's just pretty awesome how the story overall is pretty good. What I also like about the games is that you can customize the character. You can make it a female. You can put your name on it, different name. You can customize it. You can give it like a thief look, a sorcerer look, a knight look, or a mage, a sage, noble look, and all this other kind of stuff, which is pretty awesome. Not only that, when you're playing the storyline, you can actually change in a way how the story moves. Like, instead of going straight, like, predetermined storyline, you could kind of go left or right, kind of change it a little bit depending on what you do, the actions of the story. If you save her, if you kill her, if you do this and that, you could change the storyline. You could change the journal. You could rewrite the journal, which is okay, and it won't really affect the outcome in a way. Anyways, also like I mentioned before, I do like the sound of the soundtrack. I already explained it why I like it, because it really goes well with the game, the mood, and all this other stuff. Plus, it's pretty badass. How the monsters, they kind of talk. What I also did like about the game was the contents of the side quests. There's a lot of side quests. You meet the specific missions and everything like that with other sorcerers you do, and you learn their story, you learn their backgrounds, and then the future outcomes, and it's pretty awesome. Like I really like their version of the story. Is like, why they're doing this, why they join as a sorcerer and everything like that. And what I also did like was a lot of reading content. There's a lot of reading content about how the monsters came to be, how the first person who became the monster, the origins of the land, the origins of the monsters, what a bunch of like descriptions of what is a doppelganger, what is how do these monsters, like how do these rats or cats like turn to these huge monsters, and they tell you right there. And it's just, I just kept reading and reading and reading and reading and reading, and it was just like interesting. I was like, whoa, that's messed up. And at the same time, it's like, whoa, that's pretty crazy, and stuff like that I really enjoy. Usually, like the text or like these RPG games are like, oh man, that's a lot of text. I'm just gonna throw it. Forget about it. I'm not gonna read that. Especially like in Final Fantasy, there's a bunch of like text and all this. Like, oh, screw that, screw that. But in this game, I recommend you reading it. It's a good story. It's good background stories of how the monsters came to be. You learn about why they chose to accept a sacrifice and everything with the chalice. How if you do a sacrifice with the chalice, you get something taken away, like something precious takes away from you, and stuff like that. Now, the last thing that I did like about the game was the excellent battle system. the battle system between how you control the player, how you're evading, the fighting and everything. It's like it's kind of like Kingdom Hearts in a way. Like that one has a great battle system, and it's similar towards that, and like kind of like Devil May Cry. It's like Kingdom Hearts, but mainly like Kingdom Hearts. Is you run around, you can lock, you can run, you could dodge, you could dash and stuff like that. Kind of like Kingdom Hearts, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It basically sums it up. It's kind of like Kingdom Hearts, but much more faster paced. That's why, yeah, Kingdom Hearts was faster paced, you know, with Sora and everything like that. It's a lot more faster paced, but overall, it's an excellent battle system with the monsters and you and how you clash each other, how you could counter and stuff like that. Now, moving on towards the next section is like what I don't like about this game. There's a few things. One of it is the dialogue is slow. Unless you're the one manually like keep pressing X to move them to the next section of the dialogue, it's gonna be slow. It took a, you know, the voice, the dialogue, the dialogue says the phrase, a few seconds pass, the next phrase, a few seconds pass, the next phrase. Now you could also, when the phrase ends, you could press X, and then it moves on towards the next phrase. But if you press it while the next phrase is going, you skip that phrase, and then you have to go all the way back if you want to hear what they say. You could read it, of course, but if you want to hear what they say, you know, how they put the emphasis, the voice acting, stuff like that. Now, the other thing that I didn't like about this game was a huge thing. It was that it has repetitive missions. This game, in its side quest, has a lot of repetitive missions, and I mean a lot of repetitive missions. I mean, you fight the same monsters, or I mean, you do the same missions, like, I don't know, more than 5 times, like the same thing. I mean, but it's more difficult, but it's the same mission, just higher level monsters, and it's like, oh, again, I have to find 5 shards again, I have to find 4 shards again. Have to kill all these monsters again. I just fought these guys like the other mission ago, and that which brings me to the last thing that I don't like about this game is that repetitive monsters. The repetitive monsters you face throughout the whole side quests that are like that. You face the same monsters over and over again. You face the Phoenix. You face the what was it called again? Some other one. You face this, you face the cat, you face the wolf like a few times, you face this and stuff like that, and it gets repetitive, which kind of killed it. Like, oh, again, kind of like it should have been like a new fresh boss off the back, but you use the same kind of I mean, you fight the same bosses. That's kind of like a dislike for me. I was like, oh well, here we go again, I know your weakness, so here we go. And stuff like that. And now moving on to another section is the replay value. Whether or not you're going to be playing this game over and over again, or you can just play it once and just throw it away, or sell it or whatever. The truth is that it does have, I would say it's moderately high, because there's a lot of side quest missions, and you might just went straight for the main storyline, and you're like, well, I got some side quest missions I could handle. And not only that, they, with the updates, they bring new missions, new side quest missions you could do over and over again. Not only that, you could play side quest missions with other people online. You and the other sorcerers, you could duke it out with the monsters, and if you die, they could revive you, or they could sacrifice you, which they're being pretty much dicks. And they're like, hey, no, don't sacrifice me, stuff like that. So that's why I would say this game is, I would say the replay value is moderately high. You know, you're gonna play it, you're gonna keep playing it for a while. It is an RPG game. You could go full dark arm sorcerer, or you could go full light arm sorcerer, but you gotta find a balance between health and defense, offense and defense. So you have a high defense but low defense, and they're gonna kill you pretty quick. So you gotta find a medium between those two. So overall, this game, I give it 2 thumbs up. My little 2 thumbs up, well, actually big thumbs up. two thumbs up and an 8 out of 10 for this game. It's a pretty damn good game, and I highly recommend you try it out, this game. It's a pretty good game with a great storyline, with an excellent battle system, that you're gonna have a pretty good time with hours of playing this game. First it's gonna get a little slow, but as you progress, like any other RPG, as you progress, it gets more interesting, and it gets more interesting, and it gets a lot of fun. Anyways, thanks for watching this video, and thanks for listening for my review. I will see you guys on the next one.